Hello everyone, Australian Motorcycle News, Peter Bohm with the update from Friday Sachsenring MotoGP. What happened today, Friday? Well, nice. Especially for you Aussies, nice, Moto2, Moto3, but later about that. A little bit about the track, because I assume you've seen the action today or you plan to go to see the races on Sunday and probably the sprint even for tomorrow. You need to know a little bit of background information because Sachsenring is pretty special. I think if they will bring it suggested as a MotoGP racetrack now, that probably will, some people raise an eyebrow and say, you really want to race there? It's basically a car park on an industrial estate area from a former East Germany city. But in the end, it is a fun track. It's pretty narrow, it's very up and down, it's short. We do 30 laps, it's a crazy short lap time. But I love it because it is so different and it's still really motorbike racing. You really need to know what you're doing with the motorbike. But the emphasis is on very different things than last week we were in Assen in Holland, because there you needed to do as a motorbike racer and on the setup of your bike, completely different thing. If I have to explain the track, I will just say we go 20 times to the left and that's it. Obviously you can't do that, but it's basically all the corners are left. Then there's one or two very tight right-hand corners to bring you again to a lot of left-handers. Lots of left-handers following into each other and all the way up and down and up and down. So even the front tires here need to be asymmetrical because the left gets so much punishment. And it's not that, actually when they bring the front tire asymmetric, it's not because you need a very hard left side of the front tire, you need a little bit, but it's more to have the right side of the front tire very soft and keeping the temperatures in it. Because if you've been, I don't know, 20 seconds in a row, left, and you go to the right hand side, the tire is stone cold and you will immediately lose it. And that's exactly what happens on this track every now and then. So yeah, Sachsenring, MotoGP in Germany. It's a big event for the fans also. It's crowded, a lot of people love it to go there. There's campings, there is a great atmosphere. So yeah, also for the riders it's fun to be there because you feel, actually everything is closed, so even the spectators are closed. And with such a great atmosphere, it's just a very good event. Bike-wise, you need everything except horsepower. That's good news for Jack Miller and everybody on a Yamaha and on a Honda, especially because they don't have it. You need to have a bike that can carry the speed with it through the fast corners and also keep the front planted when you go down, which is quite a thing here. So yeah, quite a special track for sure. Everybody in MotoGP has been on this track a lot of times before because everybody in MotoGP comes from Moto3, Moto2. Even if you came from another direction at this Toprak, I think Toprak, when next year's Toprak Razgatlioglu comes next year to MotoGP, when he will go to Sachsenring, I think he was never there. I don't think he ever did German Championship or anything, so he will be in for a surprise when he arrives there. Usually the guys know the track a little bit, but still on a MotoGP bike, I don't think they spent anything at full throttle. The hand can be full, but the real butterflies of the engine, probably never. Or let's say 5% of the time maximum, all the power is really used from the engine. So it's all about braking, turning some more, mostly to the left, and that's it. So funny race. It also means overtaking is not so easy. So you need to qualify in front. It's boring. We also have to, we always keep saying starts are so important. They are, except when you're Marc Marquez, because then you can still overtake everybody and everywhere you want it. But yeah, starts here are important. And that made this day extra important because, like on Friday, you have to be in the top 10. So I start with my list of people in the top 10 who have to have a special explanation because that's a little bit special. First of all, I have to start with Marc Marquez, but for the funny reason, because he's not on the first place. Now, Marc likes Austin and he likes Sachsenring. He always wins in Austin, always wins in Sachsenring, except when he has some broken bones or when the bike is really very bad, as the Honda was in the end. So Marc was expected to be easily fastest. He was fastest in the morning, but this afternoon, Fabio Di Giannantonio, there's only 325 Ducatis, the other 2025 Ducati on it, last minute put in a soft front tire and a soft rear tire and did a super good lap time. Now, from my explanation from the track, you could already see that, or you could have concluded, if it's a short track with very short lap times, 1 minute 20, 1 minute 19 is now what they're doing, means you do 30 laps, but it also means that the lap time differences will be very, very small. I think I've seen races here where in qualifying the top 10 was within 3/10. That's really, really silly. So actually today the top 10 was covered by 0.6, which is a lot, unless when you look at the first two people. Fabio Di Giannantonio has already 0.3 on number 2, Alex Marquez, and then everybody is in 3:10. So one guy was really a stop above everybody else, a full step, Fabio Di Giannantonio. Not so much in the rest of the session, not so much on pace, but when he put in the soft front and the soft rear, he was incredible. And I think that was the trick, because Marc didn't try the soft front tire, and Marc did already another part of his game. When you know you're fast, you already Friday start to prepare your whole race weekend. Where Marc Marquez used only 2 soft rear tires for the pre-qualifying from today. That was enough from him. I think even with a medium tire, he was already looking back in the top 10. So he didn't waste 3. Almost everybody uses 3 rear tires. And there's Fabio Quartararo. He needs a special notification because he's in 4th with the Yamaha, really good again. I mean, the Yamaha can qualify. It was on pole in Asse. It's now in P4 on Friday here. Problem is, it doesn't usually have the race pace when it's riding with the others. But Fabio used 4 as rear tires. Now there's only 7 in total. I'm not an Einstein, but this means you've got 2. You need usually 2 for the qualifying from tomorrow. That means you've got only 1 left. Now usually the sprint race can be done with the soft tire. But that also means that he's already fully sure that if the main race could probably be done, because maybe the tire changed a little bit or the weather condition is different, could probably be done with the S, he can't do it. Or, even worse, and that's why Marquez was saving a soft rear tire, if there is a crash and a red flag in the main race and you have a short restart, Marc has a new S. That's how you start to win your Sunday race already on Friday when you know you have the pace. That's what Marc did. So, summary, Marc is not first, which is very special on Sachsenring, but he was not first because I think he didn't believe enough in the soft front tire. Did it with a hard front tire, and that was just not enough. Fabio Di Giannantonio, I mean, he's having a really good season. Alex Marquez with the broken, I don't know the name, 1 broken bone in his hand from the Asse crash. He had an OP with it, so there's a little plate on it. It doesn't really hurt him, it doesn't really bother him, he's second, so good enough. 4th, Fabio Quartararo, like I said, with the Yamaha. Race pace is not really there, but since we are on a track where overtaking anyway is difficult, even the Yamaha can have a chance, because the Yamaha is actually not bad in the start. So if Fabio starts on the front 2 rows, has a decent run to the first corner, can make himself wide in corner 2, 3, 4, he can finish the first lap in P3 and then you can finish the race in P3 with the Yamaha, but it's too early to say that. But Fabio again does a stellar job on the Yamaha. We have 2 KTMs in the top 10. First Pedro Acosta in 5, who had 1 little crash to get there, but he did it. And we have Brad Binder on P10, just in the top 10, which is really good, because top 10 is so important. You don't want to go to Q1 and then try to get to Q2, because usually that's a disaster. But it also can be an advantage. There is people like Maverick Vinales, who I expected in the top 10, couldn't find his good rhythm, missed just a tiny little bit to be in the top 10. Johan Zarco, sometimes even on the podium, so he was expecting, there's already 2 people that I expected in qualifying 2. Now the thing is, if you're in qualifying 1, you shit yourself, because it's a jungle and it's very difficult to make the next step. But if you do it, Michelin gives you another soft rear tire, so you get that one back, and you have already like pre-knowledge when you go 10 minutes later in Q2. Usually the people who make it from Q1 really on their own power to Q2 are immediately on the front 3 rows, or probably even the second rows, because you have already a little bit of an advantage. So nobody wants to be in Q1, but when you're in it and you make the jump, it's not so bad actually. Another special notification from the top 10, Bezzecchi in 7, I expect him to be there. I mean, he was 2 days on the podium in Asse. It's an Aprilia. I think there was an Aprilia on the podium in the sprint last year, so he's supposed to be there. Jack Miller on 8 on the Yamaha, so there's only 2, there is 4 Yamahas in total, 2 Yamahas in the top 10, not so bad. I'm really happy to see Jack in the top 10 again there. So P9, the name that I didn't mention so far, Pecco Bagnaia, in P9 on a place that he loves, that he usually wins a lot. He knew when he came here, okay, Marc is now on a really good bike and Marc loves Sachsenring, so maybe I fight for second, but he's P9. But for all Pecco Bagnaia fans, don't panic. It's not the first weekend that Pecco has a difficult Friday morning, that he has a hard Friday afternoon, but in the end he always comes back in the race. Not that far that he passes Marc Marquez or so far this season, not even Alex, but with P9 you should worry for Pecco, but knowing him, he will be coming back. He needs to be back tomorrow. And then, like I said, it's just Brad Binder. The rest of the day was also spent watching Moto2 and Moto3. In Moto3, in the end of the day, you need to be in the top 14. Moto2 as well to go to Q2 immediately. And you Australian guys are lucky because we have Jacob Rulstone in 5th on Friday. We have Joel Kelso on 8th on Friday. So these are already immediately go to Q2, which in Moto3 is quite nice to be. Moto2, Senna Aegis, 2nd place. I mean, if this was Sunday, no, it's Friday, but it's a really, really good start. And it doesn't make sense. Senna is really, really good in Phillip Island. Senna was unbelievably good. I mean, he was winning in Silverstone. But there's also tracks where he suffers. So there is not a lot of logic. Now, Sachsenring doesn't fit into any other track. It's slow, left, 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 up and down, left, left, left. But suddenly, somehow, Senna Aegis understands this track very well. He's even in front of his teammate who is leading the World Championship. They are 2 and 3 on the Friday. So really, really good beginning for Senna Aegis. Plus that the news came out today that Senna signed for another year with the same team. The team is happy with him, obviously. He's happy with the team, also Nasser Trains. And they decide already to sign the papers. Next year, Senna Aegis, same team, Moto2 again. Good. That's it from the summary from the Sachsenring. Maybe one little thing. A little bird told me lately that a certain lady, Nayelle, not unfamiliar with Joel Kelso, seems to be sort of a fan, likes this little videos from Australian Motorcycle News. She apparently also is not, likes a little bit also the podcast I do with my partner Matt Oxley. So shout out to Nayelle Kelso. Thank you. And all the best for your son here in this weekend in Sachsenring. Tomorrow back. Thanks for watching everybody. Bye.